Hello and welcome to the penultimate RadioTimes.com Love Island live chat. I'm Sarah Doran.
I'm Frances Taylor.
And can you believe we have spent probably 56, maybe 57 if you count all the 15 minutes that have been added in along the way, hours of our lives watching Love Island, and how many more hours talking about it here with our lovely viewers?
Not enough. Not enough. That's my answer to that. Not enough hours.
And we reached the final episode tonight on ITV2, and we've had a sneak peek at it. Frances, how would you describe it? Are you thinking it's going to be a classic?
I don't know. I mean, it's what you kind of expect from a normal Love Island final, where the girls are getting dressed up. They go out of the villa. It's like hashtag say yes to the dress, I think, is the text that they get, where they go to some very, very white-walled sort of, not even a shop, I don't know what it is. It's probably just a TV studio, where they get to pick out their glamorous dresses for the final, where they get to then read their declarations to each other, which is so cringy. It's like people who write their own wedding vows. It's really a no-no, but they insist on doing it every year. They've got to pad out this hour and a half somehow.
Completely. And this was part of like the classic hour and a half last year when Liv, of course, got her gorgeous blue dress and went and jumped in the pool. So, you know...
anything could happen.
I mean, Laura does look a little bit like Liv. Could Laura make another Liv moment?
I hope so. I still think nothing's going to top Alex running with his baby in the pram and dropping it. That was the best moment of all Love Island. But anyway, we'll probably talk about more of that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll touch on that tomorrow morning. Tonight, we are going to talk about, of course, tonight, as Ian Sterling says. I still can't do the
Cracking
impression.
impressive.
We are going to take you through the 4 couples that remain in the villa and kind of have a little bit of a look at their journey and also assess their chances. So a couple I think we should start off with are one that were not very popular, then kind of were in the background, and now I think are a little bit more loved than they had been, and that's Wegan?
I always say Wegan.
Megan and Wes. I honestly have to say, I wasn't their biggest fan. I've been Team Laura all the way. And then I kind of just found myself a little bit irked by them. You know, I'm really indifferent to them. And now I'm kind of like, do you know what, actually? They're quite sweet.
Yeah, I do think, you know, as soon as Wes dumped Laura and he cracked straight on with Megan, and she had like dumped him and got on with Glasses Alex and then dumped him, gone back to Wes, I just thought they're doomed. They're absolutely doomed. No matter who walks through that door, no matter what bombshell comes in, they're going to split up instantly. And actually, I know it's only been, 2 weeks, 3 weeks that they've been together, but they have kind of proved the doubters wrong in that sense. That it was all about Megan and how sort of she was, you know, going off with different boys, I suppose, in the villa. And actually, she's really proved everyone wrong, and both of them have, by sort of settling down in that sense. Because both of them were sort of as bad as each other. And now I think they do actually make quite a nice couple.
Because, like we said, we saw Megan, you know, originally it was would she pick Ale or Alex? And then she went for Glasses Alex next. And you kind of thought, oh God, is she ever going to like find her match? But then there was a moment earlier in the week, or was it last week, where they were in the bedroom just like having a mock wrestling match. And she was like, who's in the vulnerable position now? And I was like, this is quite telling. But they seem to just have like a really sweet little kind of boyfriend and girlfriend bond.
And I actually really like Megan, weirdly. Like, I didn't like her for the first few weeks, but then she's been really self-deprecating, actually really funny. And I kind of I like her a lot more than I did at the beginning as well. But I don't fancy their chances tonight. I really don't. Although they escaped being in the bottom last night with, you know, obviously the Islanders voted them in. So, I don't know, maybe they do have a shot, but I don't think they do.
Me either, to be perfectly honest. Let's move on. Couple number 2 are a pair that we probably...
Sound like Blind Date.
I know.
Couple number 2.
What's your name and where'd you come from? I love your hair. I think it's your hair, isn't it?
I'm
going to stop doing accents. I am not Jack Fincham. I can't do impressions. Couple number 2 are Kaz and Josh. Now, I would have thought a couple of weeks back that this pair were a shoo-in and were probably the best competition that Jack and Dani could have in that villa. But the public votes haven't been so kind to them, have they?
Haven't, and it's really surprising actually, because I don't know if it's the smugness. Obviously they were voted, I don't know, was it 76 or 6%, 66% people thinking they're the most smug in the villa. They kind of are, but do you know what? They're so good together. I think they look perfect. They're just really nice and they work really well together. And I think as everyone sort of should forget about the Georgia mess now, in my opinion. I know it was awful at the time. I know we were all gunning for Josh and how awful he was. But actually, he's, again, proved everyone wrong in that him and Kaz seem to work really well. I can see them doing really well on the outside as well. But again, I would have thought they'd have been really hot contenders, actually, to win if they hadn't have landed in the bottom two with the viewers. I don't know why viewers aren't connecting with them so much. I'm not sure why that'd be.
I mean, a couple of weeks ago, everybody was voting for like the fact that they had the best sexual chemistry. They were totally vibes whenever they were in the same room. Most attractive. Maybe because they stood on the podium and posed for a photo after that. That might have contributed to the smugness thing. I will say, for me, I did take a step back when they did the baby challenge and Josh basically left Kaz on her own. I was like,
that was knock a few marks off, as was the whole, you know, girls not wearing makeup to bed look rough comment, which wasn't very good. I kind of got what he was trying to say, and I know Russell Kane was trying to defend this last night on After Sun. I kind of got it, but I still think, you know, just don't go there.
I think it was quite telling when Kaz's mum came in and she was like, you know, this is tough and it's going to get even tougher on the outside. And she's like, oh, do you like him? Well, if you're happy. Just that kind of thing came up. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not as confident I'll be definitely plain sailing for them on the outside. I'll be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I think they've been really sweet together. They're a really solid couple. I don't think anybody could say anything bad about them in the villa in terms of they've been loyal to each other. They've weathered many a storm in that villa.
They have. It's very poetic.
And come out the other side. So I think Kaz and Josh, I don't know that they'll win it. I think they could surprise us maybe with a second place.
Possibly. I don't know. I think our next couple that we're going to talk about will definitely surprise us with the second place, carried mainly by one of them. Only by one of them.
Do you want to tell the people who it is, Francis?
Well, Laura and Paul, I think. This is obviously the next couple we're chatting about, penultimate couple. And I have to say, Paul, he hasn't really done very much other than be nice to Laura, which I think is all we could have really hoped and asked for from him when he came into the villa. But Laura has been, I would say, my favourite Love Islander of 2018, arguably. Again, a bit difficult to, so many really good ones this year, but she, I think, has been really sort of holding her own, been really funny, really relatable, it's a good word. And I just think she will come second, basically on her own. It will sort of be Laura brackets Paul for second.
Do you know the thing with Laura, and I realised this last night when I was chatting about the show, she has been kind of the Camilla of this year. Everybody thought Dr. Alex was the Camilla of this year that would wait for his, you know, princess to come or whatever. But Laura followed almost the Camilla path, you know. She was with somebody she thought she was really happy with. That didn't go well. Then somebody else came in, but it just wasn't right. Do you know what I mean? And then at the last minute, in comes a tall, dark model.
Like Jamie. Yeah, I completely agree, actually. It's been interesting watching her journey. I hate that word, but it's true. And I think when she was coupled up with Wes at the beginning, I thought, well, they're going to make the final. They're such a good couple. And it just goes to show what a difference, you know, 6 weeks can make. Because they were talking about having babies after 5 days together, I think, which seems like a lifetime ago now. But I completely agree. She has been this year's Camilla. And we were all hoping Dr. Alex would be that. But we all went off him quite rapidly.
What I really, really liked about Laura, though, was throughout the competition, like there were many times where she came to like blows with somebody or she was at loggerheads with somebody. I mean, you look now, she's in the final with Wes and Megan, two people who really hurt her, but she reconciled with and she found a way through it. You know, she found a way through with Georgia. She's always been the one to kind of go back and say, listen, this isn't worth the argument. Yes, she can be really dramatic. You know, like, yes, she overreacts to some things.
And I love that in the Liv way. You know, like how last year Liv would just kick off at anything. I think Laura's a bit like that, and I love her for it. I really do.
But she always comes back to it. And I did see a tweet a few weeks back saying, imagine if everyone was like Laura, like 29, they were all in the villa together and actually rationally talked through their problems.
That'd be rubbish telly. That'd be awful. No one wants to see that. But no, I agree. And I think what's really telling as well, in terms of Laura and her maturity, in terms of situations, is that we haven't seen her really badmouth Megan, to be honest, or now anyway, about any of this. And yet when the Islanders were having to choose who they wanted to nominate to dump, I mean, Megan really went in for her. She was just like, Laura straight away, don't like her. It was really quite brutal and came out of nowhere.
Do you know what, though? I was really proud of Wes in that moment when he stood back and he said, no, do you know what, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. And he vouched for Laura with Paul as well during the Alexandra, Paul, Laura triangle. So I really did think when they flashed up the vote for last night, I was so pleased to see both Wes and Laura in that final, because I feel like at least out of that ungodly mess came some happiness for them both.
Metaphor for life.
I think it's, you know, kind of without doubt who we'll discuss next. And I don't,
because there's no one else to talk about.
But I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion.
But it's a foregone conclusion.
Dani and Jack, together since day one, beloved by the nation, and now given the formal blessing by Sir Dani of Dyer.
Royalty, which also made me think Dani Dyer, as in Dani Dyer, feminine Dani Dyer, she's related to Richard III as well. Yeah. She's royalty. We sort of skipped over that, but you know, she's descended from a king. So
I mean, if Dani calls her his little princess,
there we go.
You know, it's actually true. I really like Dani and Jack. I do. I went through a period in the middle where I was a bit like, meh, you're kind of sitting there preaching to everybody. What I couldn't get over, and this came out on the lie detector as well, was how neither of them expressed any interest in anybody else at all. Like the whole way through, they never even went, "Ooh, she's really fit," or "Ooh, he's a bit of all right." You know?
Which makes me think they are playing a bit of a game. That's my issue with that.
That's my one thing.
Yeah, and I really like them. I don't want to join the sort of Dani and Jack naysayer brigade. I think that it is a bit strange and not really, I don't know, it's not really Love Island, is it? To have all these people come in and go, no, not looking, no, it's a bit like, weird. It's a bit weird.
You know, they always say you can go window shopping, you know, you don't have to ride the bike, you can just look at the wheels, you know?
They didn't even look at wheels.
Appreciate the outside.
Yeah,
you know?
They didn't do that. They haven't done that at all. And I think that's the thing. They have undoubtedly played it safe right from day one, and that has gotten to the final, and I have to say that is going to win them it as well.
I think it's genuine.
Yeah.
I do think it's genuine.
I hope it is. I mean, they are now moving in together, and inevitably with that will come an ITV2 spin-off, I'm sure, that will follow all their ups and downs, and hopefully Dani Dyer might actually appear on that rather than just on Skype, which we're all disappointed by.
I'm going to suggest a title, Dire Straits, you know.
I think you should work on that. I'm not a fan. I'm not enjoying that. No, I can't.
Do or Dyer?
Do or Dyer is better.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know. I think it's...
Or I Do or Dyer, where, you know, Dani Dyer follows Jack around going, you got to marry her, you got to marry her. And if you don't say I do, you get the Dyer.
I think put all this in an email to ITV2, see if they get back to you.
Just want a job.
Don't think they will.
Love Island's almost over. What am I going to do?
I don't know what any of us are going to do. Yeah, I do think that's the thing. I mean, we've been running a poll on Radio Times as well to ask who people want to win, and with a staggering 80% of the votes, it is Dani and Jack. I almost said Janny, which I've been trying to avoid. Dani and Jack. And I just think it would be daft for any of the other couples to win, really, because they are clearly the best in terms of their commitment to each other and the fact they have been together since day one. But it also makes for a bit of a boring final where we've sort of known they were going to win from week one.
Yeah. I'll still watch it though.
Of course, like, it's like doing anything else.
And it is like 90 minutes of your life tonight, isn't it?
Of course.
So, I mean, who do you think will win? Who would you like to see winning? That's what we want to know. And of course, keep an eye on radiotimes.com, where we will still have lots of Love Island content for the next 24 hours.
It never ends.
No, and we will be back with you tomorrow to talk about who does win, whether it was the right outcome or not, and also have kind of a little look back at this year's show. I know Francis and I have lots of opinions on how we feel about this year's show, and so we want to know yours as well. Don't be afraid. Leave us some comments in the box below. You never know, we might read them out tomorrow.
We might do.
Very special Love Island extravaganza, which will feature so many of us, actually. Quite a few of the faces you have seen throughout this, you know, really high budget, high concept series that we've been running here. Thanks so much for watching. Until tomorrow, I've been Sarah Doran.
I've been Francis Taylor.
Thanks for joining us, and goodbye.
Bye.